Okay, hello everybody. This is Group C, this is the AMD Dota 2 Premier League, and I am Baseskip, and this is round 1. It's going to be FT, which is Fairy Tail, up against Clan Ob. And yeah, this is best of 1 to see who is going to face off against TNC in the best of 3 semifinals. This is a best of 1 set. I am Baseskip, I'm happy to be here bringing you guys this game, and I'm going to just switch things over so I can keep an eye on stream chat. Welcome to everybody. Stream should be nice and stable, hopefully I'll be nice and stable. I've just sucked down the entire contents of a mug of tea, so hopefully that'll be enough caffeine to keep me going and keep my eyes peeled for any action that's going on in this game. And I don't know that much about Clan Ob, but from what I can see of FT's lineup, we should be in for at least a couple of great games this evening. So stay tuned. I know that there's Curse Invitational happening. There's a whole other set of these Group C games happening at the same time as well. So there's lots of Dota for everybody to tune into, and make sure you stay on top of that over the course of the evening. But that's it as far as introductions go, and we're going to get straight underway with the draft for this game. Fairy Tail, they're going to be over on the Radiant side. They're going to have first pick this time around, and it's the best of 1, so that's not going to switch around. And Clan Ob, they're going to be on the Dire with second and third pick. For anyone interested, I will give you guys the pings at this point in time. It seems more or less okay. A couple of FT's players sitting up around 200, and VDK Vandal sitting all the way up at 290 at the moment, so we'll see if that changes, though it does seem to be pretty consistent right now. So Fairy Tail, they're going to choose to ban out the Keeper of the Light and the Magnus, and Clan Ob going to choose to remove the Batrider. Keeper of the Light, not a hero that we've actually been seeing in the first 4 at least, in the last few days of this tournament. The flavors have really been a little bit different. Lots of nakes, so much quap, and Keeper of Light quite consistently making it through. So yeah, we shall see. Batrider's been banned out. Nyx, probably the obvious one at the moment, though there is still a Wisp. There's still plenty of strong heroes left in the pool, and we shall see what is going to make it through. It might even be a lone druid here. So Nyx is going to be the ban. Nyx is going to be passed back. Fairy Tail going to take, not even going to consider for a second not snapping that one up. So Darkseer remains in the pool, as does Keeper of the Light. Lots of nice anti-push, but I would be none too surprised to see Fairy Tail going for something fairly aggressive here. What else is going on? I'm behind 2 minutes of delay, so anything that I say you guys don't hear it for 2 minutes, and hence I can't really, if you type something in chat and then I immediately respond to it, you won't hear my response for 2 minutes. So Clan Ob, they're going to choose to pick themselves up the lone druid. Nice to have, not super susceptible to ganks from the Nyx Assassin. That the setup is always there, and they're going to pick themselves up a Wisp as well. Lone Druid, not super common with Wisp. I have on occasion seen a Wisp Lone Druid push strat, which is based on getting quite a few points in overcharge early and just using the absurd attack speed on the bear to be able to slam down towers. But Fairy Tail, we've seen a lot of quap, and that trend is going to continue in this game, and picking themselves up a Tinker as well. So it looks like it might just be a farming Tinker, and then Queen of Pain could potentially be mid. Again, you can also have a farming Queen of Pain, and I think the Tinker a nice response, especially given that Clan Ob are kind of showing a very aggressive sort of pushy strategy right now, especially with the Wisp. So Queen of Pain's definitely going to be nice as far as avoiding that aggression between the now freshly picked up CK and Wisp. And Clan Ob, I guess this is going to either force the Lone Druid up into soloing the safe lane, and then CK IO +1 forming a bit of an aggressive tri lane, or Lone Druid is going to be the off lane. We have also seen some solo mid Lone Druid of late. It's kind of strange. I don't know exactly how well he would fare against Queen of Pain, but yeah, Clan Ob going for the double melee core, and we'll see how this works out for them as we progress. The one thing with Wisp, whenever you see him, you have to be thinking, okay, we can probably go aggressive, we could probably win that tri lane, just because Wisp is so weak in a tri versus tri situation. CK does help to complement his weaknesses a bit, and obviously makes those tether stuns very, very reliable, but he's still a very weak tri lane hero overall. And According to Equilibrium, Cux is a noob. Well, we'll have to see. I'll withhold judgment, since I think Cux does pretty well for himself. But anyway, so we've got Gyrocopter and Weaver as the bans out by Clan Ob, and Fairy Tail choosing to remove the Templar Assassin and the Rubik. So Clan Ob still looking for a support, and then still probably looking for that mid. At the moment, there is still a Puck in the pool, and a none too surprising response to both the Queen of Pain and the Tinker, though can have a tough time against the Nyx, and doesn't necessarily outright win the lane against either Queen of Pain or Tinker either. So Fairy Tail, they're going to get rid of the Leshrac. Shadow Demon going to the ban for Clan Ob. And I think Clan Ob trying to get themselves in a better position if they do get aggressively tri-laned against.
Windrunner at your service.
And yes, I think Ruffledon is right. KP is going to be on Tinker, and that's going to be a sight to behold. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Windrunner is going to be the choice here from Fairy Tail, getting some more heroes that have ways to deal with being immediately relocated on by CK and Wisp. You got Fast Fingers, you can Force Staff, you can just pop Windrun, and then just get out of range. And if you manage to outrange the Reality Rift, then you're probably okay. CK is pretty speedy, but not quite so fast as Windrunner. So I like the pickup here from Fairy Tail. They're a quite single target oriented lineup. The only real AoE stun that they sort of got going on is Impale and Shackle Shot, which I guess I say only. They are both pretty prolific AoE stuns, and if you can connect them, can use them properly, they have a huge impact on the game. So just looking for that last support. It could also just be Windrunner bumped down into a 4 roll. And Nyx could also be bumped up. That sort of moves around a bit. Clan Ob going to pick themselves up a Puck. I think sort of steered in that direction a little bit. TA is being banned out. They need somebody who can handle mid against a Quap, a Tinker, potentially a Nyx, potentially a Windrunner. There's 4 mids on Fairy Tail right now, so Puck's going to be the choice. I like it. The silence is going to be fantastic, and well, we'll see how Clan Ob can do as far as locking down this KP Tinker.
10 seconds remaining.
So last pickup right now, just looking for one more support. There's not a whole lot left in the pool, and you don't want somebody who's going to be catastrophically murdered by CK, Wisp, and Puck. So I'm interested to see what this last pickup is going to be. But I think Fairy Tail so far doing pretty well as far as dealing with those relocate ganks. So what else are we looking for? Okay, we're just gonna wait around for this last support. See what it's gonna be. Clan Ob still looking for their last support as well. No super clear indications what Fairy Tail are going to be doing as far as lanes are concerned, though Nyx more than likely going to be played as a support. Windrunner, Nyx +1 could be their tri-lane, and then Tinker trying to get a little bit of safe lane farm going on. But Fairy Tail, I don't know if this is just showmanship or what, but they're going to pick themselves up a Bristleback. And I guess, you know, against the CK Wisp relocate gank, there are a couple of strategies going. One of them is to, you know, be evasive and Time Walk or Blink or Rage or whatever it is to get away. And the other, I guess the other strategy is what Lone Druid sort of does, or in this case Bristleback, which is be so goddamn tanky that you're pretty much impossible to kill within the duration of the relocate. So hopefully Bristleback's going to be able to get some farm going, though I'm not 100% sure. And yeah. And Nishiza calling it, yeah, that makes 100% sense. Tinker is the farmer in bot, safe lane farm, tri-lane formed around him, and then Windrunner probably just taking, well, Windrunner taking the offlane. It's going to be a tough time. CK Wisp definitely has a lot of kill potential, and any support that just brings a little bit more kill, a tiny bit more stun, should be fairly reliable at dealing with Windrunner. But good positioning may prevail, so we'll have to see. And yes, Equilibrium, I am behind a minute and 10 seconds of delay, plus the time that it takes to get to the server adds to Nishiza's figure of 1 minute and 56 seconds of delay. So I guess I'm actually a little bit ahead of Dota TV at the moment, so I guess I'll apologize for that. Sorry guys, but hopefully nobody will harp me out for being a little bit off. So Welcome to the game on Clan Ob. We have Viper playing Chaos Knight. 3K1Y is going to be on Earthshaker, so that's Eki, I guess, maybe? Someone's going to have to help me out with that. Juling is going to be on Io. We've got Nakimon playing Puck. And that leaves Varin to play the Lone Druid. Over on FT, we have Kux playing Bristleback. We have VDK or Vandal playing Nyx Assassin. ZZZ, or Cynical is going to be on Winner. We've got K Phoenix, KP playing the Tinker. And Fumofu is going to be on the Queen of Pain. So, yeah. And Ruffledin showing his support. He knows what side he's on. Clan Ob bring 5 up towards top. And FT, are they just going to back themselves out? Viper ready with that first point picked up in the Chaos Vault. 4 now walking up and around. I don't know how their level 1 team fight really compares. But looks like Clan Ob going to back themselves out just for now. And I think they're just trying to get Cynical set up on this top lane. Has those observer wards set up and ready to go. But still just holding for the moment. Fumofu in position on mid. Fairly heavy stats build set up right now. Not going to be a super fast bottle. Just wants to sort of outlast hit and gain lane dominance that way. And looks like Noshiza, I thought you were right, but not quite. It's actually going to be Tinker, and looks like KP heading down towards bot solo. Tri-lane for the moment forming itself up on top. They've got sentries. And they do have a smoke picked up as well, so I don't know how much time they're actually planning on spending up here. But Clan Ob, they're actually sending a bit of a duo lane down towards bot. They've got Earthshaker as this last pickup, and I guess speculating on lanes was taking a little bit too long. There's ZZZ's gonna come in just to throw out some harassment on Nakimon. So it's just sort of weird lanes to start things out. Duo against solo. We've got Wisp making his way down towards bot as well, so KP not gonna have a fantastic time in this lane. Definitely a lot of kill potential on him, but if he can stay under the tower, he should be okay. And I would be none too surprised to see some support making its way down. So I did actually run over who's playing what. I think I did. Yep, so that's all sorted. Let's get underway. 2-second stun out on KP. The tether stun as well. There's the Fisher. This might be our first blood. He's still running, but gets blocked in by his own creeps, and Viper gonna slap him down, finish that one off. TP now down towards bot by KP one more time. And the tri-lane rotating into position. So Noshiza is right in the end. It's just a bit of a block on the camp up top, and it takes Fairy Tail a little bit of time to get down towards this bottom lane. There's both a sentry and an observer ward attempting to block at this camp, so Vandal's going to place a sentry just back there. He's going to find the sentry in the camp. I'm not 100% sure if he's going to try and find any additional wards, so this observer ward might actually keep it blocked for a little bit longer. So an interesting play from Ob there. We'll keep that camp blocked out at least for some time. Viper comes up, gonna get a little bit of farm. And yeah, for now, a little bit of a stall down on bottom lane. Top lane not gonna be great for Kux, I suspect. I haven't actually checked in on the Bristleback versus Lone Druid matchup in a while, but Lone Druid extremely dominant in 1v1 situations, and I think a trend that's probably going to continue in this top lane. Kux trying to come in and get as many last hits as he possibly can, but Varin already off to a really good start. Vandal finds a 2-minute rune, haste up on him, does need to be careful about being chain stunned. 1-second stun is all that's rolled, but there's still a Fisher as well to contest with. Shackle not going to latch on anything, and as he throws out a stun, doesn't really get anything out of there, just playing a little bit aggressively. Again, he is at fairly high ping for the moment, but all that he really gained there was losing a salve. So a bit of a weird play. Does finally manage to find the ward on Magic Bush, so they should now have both of their camps unblocked. This ward may be a little bit too far up, and it may actually be blocking out this camp, though we're yet to see that until we start seeing some pulls through. And for now, the supports are just going to be sitting on top of KP so that he can get some relatively safe farm. And Winner, not a hero that can really deter the aggression too much either, so VDK is going to have to at least stay fairly close by. That's sort of the problem with this tri-lane right now. Cynical is the ranged hero. He needs to be the one that's in the lane, harassing, controlling heroes, keep everybody back, and free up space for KP. But if Ob do decide to go aggressively, then it really needs to be the Nyx who's going to be the one to shut anything down and prevent KP from just being locked down and bursted. And KP just going for the March build in this game, none too surprising. And Famofu manages to drive Nakiman back on mid, off to a really good start though, staying fairly even as far as CS is concerned, and both of them going for this very heavy stats build to start off the game, trying to get this little bit of an edge. Vandal still walking forward, Viper tanking up some creeps a little bit, and Wisp using that tether already, just getting that bonus move speed to get themselves out of there. Though Fairy Tail not really in any position to capitalize on anything there. Up top, Varn's still doing really well as expected, though Cuck's not having too hard a time. He is now completely out of regen, though Varn sending the bear back to base just to heal it off as opposed to using the resummon. So that's part of the reason why Cuck's has a little bit of space for the moment, and it's just max Quill Spray and Bristleback for Cuck's, just so he doesn't get too badly harassed by the bear. So, still playing fairly defensively down at bot. They've got the lane in a position that they're fairly happy to have it in. Unfortunately, given that they are an aggressive tri lane, they can't get any additional sources of experience, so level 6 on Wisp isn't going to be forthcoming for a while unless they can pick up some kills. And as you can see, Vandal already making some good progress in terms of levels. Gets the pull through, but only manages to grab one creep, a little bit mistimed there. So kind of unfortunate. And but with a creep wave pushing in, but KP still just happily farming away. Doesn't have that much, and here comes the aggression. Vandal just up to the side, however, there's the shackle up on Viper, the follow-up stun. Fisher keeping KP locked out, gonna throw down the March. Viper still going to work. Will he drop in time? The Spirits doing some damage, but one more right click is going to finish off the Tinker. CK drops tether across. Shackle actually latches on both. What a disaster. The follow-up stun onto the Earthshaker. Can Vandal get in position to body block? He cannot, but the net exchange there is 2 for 1. KP will die, but CK after picking up the kill, does drop. So if you got any experience, if you leveled up there, then it's definitely not a bad exchange for Fairy Tail. On mid, Famofu just playing around a little bit with his items, definitely establishing a fairly substantial lead now. Nakiman hanging a long way back. 6-man Urn's going to be camped out by Earthshaker. And I haven't been staying on top, as on top of the ruins as I probably should, though it looks like it's just been supports camping it for the most part. So that hasn't really been a deciding factor in mid. But if we're just playing really aggressively, Nakiman going to try and escape, but the Sonic Wave connects all the same, and that is going to be a solo kill picked up by Famofu. Earthshaker is going to haste into mid just to try and soak up a little bit of experience, but not really going to be able to do too much else. Threatens a Fisher, but does need to be careful. If Famofu had a little bit more mana, it could be a disaster situation. And Cuck's on top, just bottle crowing for now to stay in this lane. Still doing fantastically as far as CS is concerned. It's worth noting. And I guess just not feeling the harassment from the bear as badly, just toughing it out. And bear actually fairly low at the moment as well. Varn's still holding out from using that resummon, which is giving Cuck's a little bit more space in the lane. And Cuck's actually going aggressive right now, wants to try and finish off the bear. Varn does manage to grab the resummon, however, so that last bout of Quills not going to finish it off. We've passed 6 minutes, so fresh wards coming up at least for the dire side at the moment. And Nakiman would love to get a useful rune to be able to make his way down towards bot. Is now level 6, so the Dream Coil ready to go. Though unfortunately, if he heads down towards bot, he's not going to find under-level supports. VDK already up to level 4, and Cynical sitting up at level 5 as well. Now Earthshaker caught out. They get the Reality Earth back on Vandal, but he immediately pops the Carapace. The Shackle connects on 2, and here comes the March, immediately wiping out the Wisp. Viper and Earthshaker on the retreat, but it's going to be maybe a 2-man stun. ES in trouble, a couple more right clicks. All they need, 2-second stun, and Power Shot. Not quite enough for the finish, but are the Rockets? Not quite either. All of those spells just tickling the relatively tanky Earthshaker. He's going to be able to make his way back to base. And what level was that Power Shot? I guess it was just only... okay, it's only a level 1 Power Shot. Cynical going for a very defensive win under build, 3 points up in Shackle. So 1 rank Power Shot and 1 rank Rocket, not quite enough to finish that kill. Our 8-man Urn going to be camped out. Invis grabbed by Famofu. He's got another Sonic Wave up in just a second. And so far, I think everything's sort of working out to plan. KP is farming. Cuck's isn't really being locked out. And Lone Druid, not a hero that does an enormous amount in the mid game. He's happy if he's farming, and he's happy if he's doing well, but he is going to need the backup of his team if he's going to be doing too much pushing. Mofu comes in on mid, invis, harasses Pokemon back, and he's just Bottle Crow to top himself off. Now needs to be extremely cautious. He uses the orb aggressively, and that's going to be on cooldown for a couple of seconds. Just going to be hanging back behind the tower. Viper and Julie making their way into mid. Tether unfortunately broken just by virtue of move speed there. And FT not going to be caught out. They've got a ward up on the high ground, just sitting underneath the tower. No TPs, no rotations really going to be catching for Mofu here. So. And chat is right. Earthshaker has stats over getting Enchant Totem, so no Aftershock stuns for him. A little bit of a strange build, but he'll presumably get one in Enchant at some point. Making their way up towards top, Cucks the target is fairly tanky. Phase Boots picked up, looking for this Entangle right now. They get the Entangle, and this spells trouble. There's the Fisher. Cucks already very low. Orb's not going to connect, but the Dream Curl is going to be used just to ensure this one. Cucks would love to kill on the bear, but one more Entangled going to lock him down and finish him off. So Varn picking up that kill. Dream Coil was used. So a fairly hefty, well, fairly heavy-handed gank there. But a kill is a kill, and we are at a 1 kill discrepancy in favor of FT. 4k experience the lead, and about a 2k gold lead as well. Okay, Puck, we get... some of those interaction lines are just a little bit too long, and the Sonic Wave is going to kill Puck on mid. Shackle didn't latch, but not even needed. Nakimon's coming down towards the double damage. Mofu not able to jump on top of that one. They're still giving chase. TP out, TP down towards bot from Puck. And what else have we got going on? KP farming up the storm on this bottom lane. Already has his Soul Ring finished up. Almost has his travels finished as well. You leave this man alone in a lane for 2 minutes, and all of a sudden he just has more gold than you'd think would be reasonable. And he's even got 2 deaths to his name. It is being counterbalanced by 2 kills and an assist, but that's not exactly that spectacular for farm heading into 10 minutes. VDK is going to walk straight in at bot, gets the phase shift out, very short range jaunt. Puck playing terrified right now. Shackle will latch, but do they have the damage to finish this one off for Mofu without a Sonic Wave? And Io just going to jump to his rescue there. Varun, as far as the build is concerned, looking pretty standard. This could, well, this Gloves of Haste could be an Armlet, it could be a Maelstrom, and Cucks just copping it a little bit on top, but continues to Bottle Crow and continues to just farm up right now. So, what else have we got going on? KP's got his travels finished. There hasn't been any stacking or anything of that nature to try and accelerate him along. There might have been an opportunity to stack up some jungle camps and have him stand right here and clear out all 3. But it doesn't really seem like he needs it. However, he is going to get Dream Coiled down at bot. The Fisher connects as well, and he will be finished off. Fortunately, was able to buy up his travels in time. Cucks, they're looking for this Shackle. Nicely played by Cynical, but did they have enough to finish him off? Cucks still tanking. TP out attempted by Varun. Can he make it in time? Yes, he can. Cucks entangled underneath the tower. Is he going to die? Shows the tower is back, but it doesn't really matter. Doesn't reduce that one, and he is going to go down to the tower hit. So that is some freakish luck from Varun. Doesn't get any of the experience for that kill. He had already TP'd out, but not going to be unhappy with the gold. And Earthshaker, sneaky TP as well away from Fumofu, going for that bottom rune. Did actually manage to grab the illusions himself there. So Viper's going to try and get a couple of levels on mid. Wisp, unfortunately, still all the way down at level 4. 12 minutes into the game, so despite it being fairly even right now, that aggressive tri-lane just got slaughtered, and Ob really having to make adjustments, and unfortunately, Lone Druid, again, not a hero that does a huge amount. He does quite a bit as far as pushing and fighting is concerned in the mid-game, but not a hero where you're like, well, we've got Darkseer top, bot lane's going bad, let's make a rotation 3 for 1, and then Darkseer can just treat it as an off lane. It doesn't quite work like that for the Lone Druid, so the adjustment here has been Puck is off roaming, and Ob are going to give the mid lane to CK and Wisp. And we've got a Reality Rift in on mid. 3 seconds down on Fumofu. He is gone skis. And a pretty straightforward looking kill there as well. Fumofu on strength treads. Not a whole lot more that he could have done there. Cynical's going to come in, and KP just getting some farm going. So a 1 kill lead in favor of Ob, And they are starting to push the golden experience slowly back towards their side. About 3k the experience lead and 1.5k the gold lead for the moment. And the Lone Druid is going to be an armlet for him. Cuck still haven't seen what his core is going to be just yet. Has picked up some phase boots, and Vandal vendetted up towards top, but Varn happily sitting in his ult. Kill goes out on KP at bot. Varn chasing all the way out. He's very, very close to the tower. There's the Vendetta. Goes for the dive, tanking up the tower as well. This spells trouble, but Cuck needs to be careful not to be entangled. The bear is still going to work on him. Now gets grabbed back. Going to work on Vandal. Nice Carapace usage there. Gets the minor stun out. Cuck still being careful, but one more stun. Going to finish it up. Meanwhile, at bot, Famofu is going to come in, clean up the puck. After he got a kill on KP, fairly close to the tower. Shackle connect on mid, but Wisp still just sitting right on top of his buddy. And well, Cynical now up to 3 points in the power shot, so it does have a little bit more to contribute. And Cucks, what's it going to be? Just tanking up for the moment. Probably going to be a Vanguard or out of the Vitality booster. Or could just be a casual Vitality booster, make it into a heart later on. Vanguard's not necessarily super efficient as far as the the stats gained when you combine the 3 items. So yeah, who knows? We are yet to see, and it's very difficult to pierce the mind of a Bristleback. I am far from a big Bristleback player. KP is still having a pretty rough time. I mean, he's got those 4 deaths up right now. Vandal goes in down a bot, gets silenced up, however. And looks like Puck going to be fine to escape. Throws out the coil. Doesn't really help him too much. Famofu is actually going to inadvertently break that one there. But still doing fine. Working towards an Orchid as that first big pickup. Meanwhile, at top, Cucks gets entangled up. KP is going to TP in, but needs to be careful about the second entangle. Is going to be able to pop the Wisp, but Varn still giving chase along with Viper. And both disables cooling down at the moment. 3 seconds stun up. Wants to finish this one up, and a shackle. KP's going to go for the trees. Run for the hills. He's going to doesn't need anything. But it's going to be able to TP out on a very meager 5 HP after popping that Soul Ring. Nicely played by FT. And I think Varn maybe could have hung around a little bit longer, used the bear to get some damage down, but decides to back out. It's a bit of weird communication going on there. It's going to give a kill back to FT, but still a very close game. Only one kill in it. And Vandal's going to intercept Nakumon TPing in on mid. Absolutely ruining his health there. 16-minute rune is up on top. That's a haste. Waiting for whoever is going to claim it. And by the looks, just going to be Famofu walking down right now. He's almost got his Orchid finished up. Wisp now up to level 6 at last. That must have been a relocate gank that we saw up towards top. But he did die again, so not having a fantastic game so far. And AP still just working his way towards that Blink Dagger at the moment. No, it could be a Blink Dagger, could be a Force Staff as well, that you'd expect to see the Staff of Wizardry if it was if it was going to be a Force. Varn has that Armlet finished up, already starting to put some pressure down onto these towers. Meanwhile, however, FT pushing in on mid, and KP going to go up top for the solo defense. March of the Machines already maxed out, so fairly straightforward to repel the Lone Druid. Though he can continue to wail away on these tier 1s. Since there's no backdoor protection. So it's just trading health, and the Dream Call hits on 3 on mid. VDK almost immediately dead. The Relocate's going to come in as well. Vandal still just barely alive, but one more right-click finishes him. 2 seconds stun of Famofu is able to blink out on barely any life, but does go down in the end. Viper is still alive. Couple more seconds until they make their return. Cucks walks in, eats an Echo Slam to the face. Vandal right up onto the high ground. He's right back into this game. Gets the Vendetta out, stuns, finishes off CK. This needs to be a clean retreat from but can they get it? A Shackle connects. And March freeing up some space. Can they kill the puck? Throws out an orb. Not very defensively. Gets hit by a Carapace. And that's going to give Cucks enough time to chase in. No points in Goo. Gets silenced, but just needs one more bash to finish that kill. So not a very clean escape. Questionable decision from Puck to throw out that orb. And yeah, nicely played by Vandal to just walk in the way, throw out the Carapace. And Puck maybe not expecting the Carapace to be back off cooldown already. That was a buyback from Vandal to get into the fight. Viper comes in and he wants this tower. Carapace pops one more time. Such a nuisance. Earthshaker is here. Shackle not going to connect on anything. That's going to be 3 seconds stun. And that is going to finish Vandal off. Back to 11 for 11, and are going to be able to get the deny out. Fumofu just farming away at bot. Gonna try and finally get this Orchid finished up. Making fairly good time, though far from spectacular. And I guess they don't have all that much tower gold in their pockets just yet. Cynical's making his way up towards top. Varun playing very defensively on the lone druid right now. I mean, the Nyx is even dead, but still being very cautious. And Ob, one problem for them right now, they're running CK Wisp, but they haven't been able to get any aggressive wards out. And so the only time that they're really going to see heroes is when they're already coming to try and fight them. And playing reactively isn't necessarily what you want to be doing with the CK Wisp partnership. So hopefully once we see some towers being pressured, we might see some aggressive wards going down. Kux has finished up the Vanguard, just buying cheap tank right now. Grabs the cloak, KP hiding off in the trees, the push is coming in. And there's a relocate ready to go to get them up towards top. No normal TPs, however, Earthshaker sitting on top of one. But Kux, double damage, wants this tower. It's now in deny range, they're going to be able to clean it up. Yeah, no ranged tier anywhere nearby for FT, so lose one more tower to a deny. KP pretty much with that Orchid finished at bot. And KP farming up a storm, now on top of net worth. Unfortunately, Lone Druid hasn't been able to push down any towers just yet. And again, he just doesn't really have the backup right now. Ob don't have the strength to 5-man. They're playing pretty defensively. And it's actually FT getting the aggressive wards down, keeping tabs on everybody's movements. Meanwhile, Ob looks like they're just being pressured back into a corner. Sort of the effective line for them in this region, and not where you want it to be for the CK Wisp. They would love to be getting way more pickoffs, but it's just not the case right now. Cynical in maybe a bit of trouble up on top. Kux is here, the relocate's going to come in. Shackle out onto this tree for some reason, who knows why. Kux is still here, still fighting. In comes KP. Cynical, however, will drop CK Wisp. Going to work on him, and KP hit by the Dream Coil. Dragged straight back, that's 2 dead. Kux trying to escape. Vandal comes in, Vendetta up. Who is he hunting for? He just wants the puck. Is he going to be able to get it? There's the orb, but the mana burn enough to finish it off there. And now Kux still chasing the bear, going to be slapping away on Fumofu. They're back underneath the relative safety of their tier 2 tower, chasing out. And entangle on Vandal, going to be able to get the stun out in Varun, but the bear just does not care. He's going to drop 4-second stun used as well. Not sure if that was necessary, or if that was really needed given that the Fisher was coming in. And that stun maybe could have been better used to turn attention to Kux. So it looks like he's going to be able to walk himself away. Fumofu just blinking around. There is a reality rift, but Fumofu just going to blink himself straight out. He's got that Orchid online. And Ob, after that fairly well taken fight, I'm going to be able to establish a slightly more aggressive ward, but it's still pretty defensive by any standard. Fumofu just off to the side, probably has his eyes set on that Wisp. KP going to TP on top, they get the shackle down. Kux and Cynical wailing away, and the bear is so slow, he's not going anywhere. Gets to the edge of the march, but KP going to clean him up with a rocket. Fumofu still just dancing around, finds the Earthshaker, is going to blow the Sonic Wave to be able to get this one, and I think the Orchid damage is going to be enough to get that kill. Only a 2-second stun. Vandal comes in, KP here as well. There's the follow-up. FT never leave a man behind. They're going to be able to clean up one more kill, and that's 1, 2, 3 in rapid succession for them to bring themselves back up on top as far as the kills are concerned. 5k the experience lead, and 5k the gold swing as well. So, for those complaining in chat, Kux does finally have, well, at least 1 point up in Nasal Goo. I do prefer to see at least 1 point earlier than he got it, but it doesn't really seem to have mattered too much, but there's still, I guess, an argument to be had. Nakimon finally has his blink finished up, but it's a little bit slow. Hopefully he'll be able to get some stuff done with it, but yeah, Ob just really being punished for the CK Wisp. When you end up in this situation with such defensive wards, and a relocate off cooldown, you know you're not in a great spot. And Networth sort of painting a pretty ugly picture as well. Kux, what is he farming towards? We still haven't seen just yet. Doesn't necessarily need a pipe or anything like that. I mean, I guess there is an Earthshaker. There is. Puck would definitely not be a bad addition to his items, though. Bristleback has enough mana problems as is, without adding to them. Though there are a couple of pairs of arcanes to help back him up, and KP can, well, so long as he has a spare inventory slot, can ferry both bottles back and forth between the fights. So Kux should be going into every single fight with full mana. Viper and Julian gonna go down towards bot, try and pick themselves up a little bit more farm. Maybe finally establish some map control. Though taking these tier 1s against KP is gonna be pretty difficult. Tinker always at the ready to go for the counter push. And I think the game plan right now is just wait until FT try and push up and go for something. They're gonna go for a smoke, walking straight past the ward. But there's no sentries until we get all the way over here, and then there's no vision. KP's gonna TP in, a little bit of bait right now, relocate, ready to go. Back towards base, but Wisp still very, very squishy. Has to be careful, and Vandal gets entangled and fissured right underneath the sentry. Can he get enough space to get some stuns? Can he get enough space for people to come in? No, he is going to be left well alone. Fumofu and Cynical all the way at mid. And that's going to be it. Just one dead Nyx Assassin. KP working his way towards a Hex at the moment, so have managed to stall the game a little bit. And they do have fairly good prospects. Well, once we sort of get towards the later portions of the game. No true hard carry on FT, but I mean, everybody is going to be scaling quite well, even the Bristleback, so shouldn't be too much of a problem. And KP just doing a bit of sneaky ancienting up on the opposing cliff. It's Kurgel. It's not Fumofu's Throws fan club. It's Fairy Tale. And Fumofu's in trouble at bot. There's a nice shackle. He's going to be able to blink himself into the trees. Still just barely alive. Has another bottle sip, but wasn't actually in the trees there. Nakimon's going to jump 3 more hits to bring him down. And they get the Reality Earth back on KP as well, in big trouble. And I don't see a way out of it for him right now, but Viper might just go down to these marches. Real-time machine dodging at its best. Able to hide, and looks like he will be absolutely fine to escape. So nice little plays there. Can I have a small amount of video quality? I don't have re-encode, unfortunately, Sapphire, so it's only 720p. I can drop it down to 480p for the rest of the night, but you might have to argue with the people who would prefer to have 720p and not pay for the ticket. So, yeah. So, for now, it's back up to a 3-kill lead for and the game's swinging wildly back and forth. XP about 5k in it right now in favor of Fairy Tale, and 7.5k the gold swing as well. And Vandal just farming away. Looks like he's working his way, towards a mech right now. Buckler doesn't really build into anything else unless you want some casual armor. Looks like Kux picked up a hood, more than likely just going to be working his way towards a pipe, and then wouldn't be too surprised to see Shivas as the next significant pickup. Solve the majority of his mana issues and help deal with the Lone Druid, help deal with the CK to a great extent. Though it could also be a Shivas on KP. I'm more expecting to see a Hex out of him, and Viper jumping in. Vandal may be in a little bit of trouble. It's going to be a full 4-second stun. Earthshaker's ready with the Fissure, and that is another very dead Nyx. Cynical has been farming all the while. Fumofu working his way towards a BKB as well. KP going to take this as an opportunity to continue to apply pressure bot and continue to keep hedged in on their side of the map. I don't think they've seen a Radiant Tower in a very long time, just because of the efforts of one Mr. K Phoenix, who is actually getting quite close to his Hex at the moment, only about 900 gold out. Nakimon comes down bot, they get the relocate out on Fumofu, breaks the Dream Coil. Can they get some more stuns? BKB pops as well from Viper. Not quite sure why, but Fumofu's going to go down all the same. And finally getting some use out of the CK Wisp. Fairy Tale just looking a little bit disorganized right now. I think waiting around until they get some pickups. Wait for the pipe to be finished on Kux, wait for this Hex on KP, but in the meanwhile they are still playing quite aggressively and are being punished for it, so still pretty good defensive play from at the moment, though again still a very defensive warding situation. They haven't really been able to leave the line of their tier 2s for a while. So, thanks Hell there, champ. Very much appreciated. So Kux, actually 2.8k gold up in the bank right now. Again, it might just not be the pipe. Might start working straight towards that Shivas, or it could be something completely unrelated. Who knows? He doesn't have a lot of raw HP right now. And picks up the plate mail. So some more survivability against what the Lone Druid and the CK are packing. So I guess it is just going to be towards the Shivas, deciding that he doesn't necessarily need the pipe just yet. Kux comes in on mid, and but they haven't seen a tower for a bit, but they're coming in right now. Shackle up on the bear. Minus armor as well. So much hate going the way of this bear. They want to hold him to this tier 1 as long as they can. And but just going to back out, not wanting to take a full-on fight just yet. KP has that Hex finished up. Viper's going to make his way down towards bot, start picking up a little bit more farm, probably start working his way towards a Heart. Varn, surely it's an AC? No, okay, well, it's got a Maelstrom. Now is the Hyperstone, now working his way towards an AC. Picks up the cheap damage items, and now going for the big auras. So, item build fairly stock standard right now. Nakimon also working his way towards a Hex, but not all that close right now. Again, Ob are being cut off from their major sources of farm, but still continuing to actually trade quite evenly in terms of overall farm. Looks like FT maybe cottoning on a little bit. KP continues to clear out waves, while everybody else is going to go Ancients and Jungles, and Famofu is using the Dire Jungle right now. So they should be able to at least push out this gold difference soon-ish. But again, they are up a lot of towers. This is not a huge gold This is not a huge gold swing for the tower discrepancy in the game right now. This is largely due to the fact that Ob have actually got denies off on 2 or 3 of the tower kills that we've actually seen, and they are up on kills. But if this game, okay, not once, but if this game starts to turn around on Fairy Tail, it starts to turn around quickly, and it starts to turn out in a really bad way. Famofu is going to get caught up on top. Still no BKB just yet. Dream Curl is going to be used. He's going to blink himself into the trees. Can they get any more vision? One more blink from Puck. Is it going to do it? The Spirit Vision a little bit too late. Famofu is going to be able to escape by the skin of his teeth there. KP with that Hex now finished, but back to that point. If this game turns around, if Ob win a big team fight, if they kill KP and win a big team fight, then it's going to be easy tier 1s all around the map. A lot of gold going back their way. And even just right now, Fortification is going to be used by Fairy Tail up on top, but I don't think the bear gives 2 hoots. Well, actually, Famofu going to be able to get the deny. Varn not going to be playing too aggressively. It doesn't... Well, actually has a resummon up at the moment, so either we've waited a bit since that bear died at mid, or it didn't actually die, though I think it did. Yeah, I guess it's just been a while. The game has sort of stalled a little bit as Fairy Tail start to wait around for these items. So yeah. Is this for the weekend tourney? This is not for the weekend tourney, Wedgie. And but they're on the Dire. They're gonna head straight into the Roshan pit and finally daring FT to take a fight. They haven't really been looking for it for a little while, but feeling confident they can take one in the Roshan pit, and Wisp just hiding up on the high ground. A little bit of bonus, quite a bit of bonus attack speed in fact, going out. Famofu's going to try and make this a trade for a tier 2 at top, and we'll see if Ob are going to be able to get up and deal with this. Looks like Famofu's going to be able to grab it, however. Fortification is ready to go. There is a relocate as well, and the potential for a TPing. No TP up on Nakimon. I think a bit of a weird decision there. Surely there must have been a dropped TP scroll or something in the pit, or he could have jacked somebody else's TP. I don't know if Famofu should have been able to get away with that tower. He does have a BKB up, so a relocate gank doesn't necessarily kill him, but it does hopefully scare him away. But they're gonna have to be happy with trading an Aegis for a tower, and not necessarily a bad situation. Fairy Tail, the map state is looking a little bit less convincing again. They have lost a tier 1 tower at bot. They did lose a tier 1 tower at top, so they've got less space to use buybacks. They've got less access to the Roshan pit. And I don't think this tier 1 on mid is going to be lasting much longer, so while they couldn't defend that Roshan, subsequent Roshans are going to be even more difficult. And again, as this game drags further and further on, CK and Lone Druid are just getting scarier and scarier. Lone Druid almost with that AC finished up. Kux does have his Shivas at the moment, and I'll bring up the overall item progression panel for anyone that is interested. So the big recent pickups are a BKB up on Famofu. We've got the line drawn for this smoke gank from Ob, so I'm going to close this panel because we might have a little bit of action happening. Though I think Fairy Tail very much clued into what's going on. We've got the blue line drawn as well, so I think they're just ready for this. The bear's going to lead the charge, reveals itself. It just wants the tower. It's going to go straight after Vandal. He's going to get Dream Coiled solo. Binoculon stun up for now. 4-second stun out on Kux, but he's still very, very tanky. Xander's ground. Famofu into the middle of this fight as well. Shiva's guard going to pop. First death of the fight is Vandal. He goes down. Famofu drops as well. The Lone Druid and the CK just cannot be stopped. Another 3-second stun up on KP. Only gets the 1 hex out for the fight. He's going to drop this death ball. Is there no end? The Reality Rift goes back as well. Cynical trying to run his way out. KP with the buyback. Kux now entangled. Fisher blocking him out. KP TP straight into the tether stun. The bear still alive. CK is going to drop, but he does still have that Aegis. This is a big fight for FT. They've invested a lot, but can they actually get that much out? Viper comes back, pops his BKB. Noctumon still in the middle. He's going to be cleaned up by a power shot. And Viper without his Phantasm's not quite as strong. KP now gets the lockdown, and the CK will drop at the end of the day, but the investment for that fight for Fairy Tail was 2 whole buybacks just to combat the Aegis, and Varun makes it out relatively, I think Varun makes it out completely unscathed at the end of that fight. KP's going to apply some pressure on top. CK still dead for 50 seconds, but does actually have enough gold up his sleeve to be able to get a heart, and this game, I think just got it. Well, it's been getting interesting for a while, but really sort of starting to show that things might be a little bit worse for Fairy Tail than they appeared at a glance. So, and does ES still have no totem? He does now have totem. For a very long time, he didn't have totem. I guess prioritizing the stats. Oh, and Cynical in trouble on mid. Another solo coil. I mean, Puck just using this whenever he wants to pick up kills. Gem of True Sight lost as well. Oh, that is going to make life difficult for Fairy Tail. Vandal Vandal won't really be able to find initiation from this point forward. And I mean, he's got a mech instead of a blink, so it was already going to be dicey. Not that the mech is the wrong decision. They needed to try and push up onto the high ground against an Earthshaker, who at some point is going to have a blink dagger and a puck. But yeah, it's going to be tough. And I mean, Fairy Tail, after getting off to a really good start, sort of stalled, couldn't finish up those tier 2s. Ob got a lot of great kills off. And now we've got an AC up on Varun. He's carrying the gem. We've almost got this heart finished up on Viper. Recipe's flying out right now. Just needs to farm up the last 400 gold. And then he is going to be absurdly tanky. Very close to 3k HP. VDK trying to set up this gank and pop, but there's still a BKB up on Viper. And everybody else doesn't seem to really want to go with this plan. And Vandal's just going to have to back himself out and use the Vendetta to farm some creeps, I guess. Not just yet. And we've got a Heart of Tarask finished up for CK. And Fairy Tail, I mean, they waited around for items, but it's not... I mean, there's no big items to wait for now, unless they're going to wait a lot longer. KP is going to pick himself up a Ghost Scepter to help deal with these melee heroes, well, these physical damage dealers in the fight. And looks like Famofu now going to be making his way back for some damage, picking up some Gloves of Haste. I'm not 100% sure what this is going to become. I don't think it's going to be the world's latest Hand of Midas. And what am I forgetting with Gloves of Haste? I mean, from what I can see, it's either going to be Midas or it's going to be Maelstrom. And yeah, Famofu just going to be picking himself up a Maelstrom. Does help. It gives you a little bit of ranged cleave in a sense, but it's not really going to help that much in clearing out these CK illusions. It is a very cost-efficient damage item, however. So Famofu just trying to eke out as much as he can right now. KP continues to stall in every single lane and split push away while Ob bring 5 down towards bot. And this is going to be a persistent problem for them as far as pushing is concerned. But Fairy Tail don't really have heroes that are going to be able to kill off buildings that quickly. So even if KP threatens a tower, tier 3 atop, it's really going to take Famofu having some damage items. Maybe a Maelstrom, maybe a Mjolnir, maybe an MKB, to actually force TPs back from Ob. And I mean, at the moment, they seem relatively unconcerned. KP needs to get in position down at bot, but the bear is already waiting for him. Not going to be entangled. Well, it gets hexed up, shackled as well. They want this thing dead, and they want it dead pronto, but this is going to be an opportunity for Nakamon to walk in. They get Viper in the back of the fight with the relocate. Now pops his BKB. The Phantasms are going to go as well. Famofu pops the BKB, going to try and TP, forced to blink as the Phantasms encroach. Cox, very, very tanky, but is it going to matter? Still standing his ground in this fight, trying to wall off a little bit. KP, where did he go? He blinked himself away, popped that Ghost Scepter. Nice little play from him. Ob, still no focus on the tower just yet. The Bear sort of standing there a little bit awkwardly. Fisher, still the wall off. Only one kill going back either way. FT side very evasive. Ob side very, very tanky. And Varan gonna go for a TP out. Doesn't actually get latched to the Bear, but the Hex from KP gonna lock him down. That is a really nice kill picked up. And FT with a very successful defense. At the end of the day, they lose about 75% of the health on that tower, but do manage to pick up 2, so I guess trading slightly better than evenly there. And I mean, they've still got a lot of gold in their advantage. They've still got the experience advantage, but the Lone Druid and CK are still getting scarier and scarier. So Fairy Tail, I think the goal here is to try and force it a buyback. There isn't one. So Ob going to be forced to defend as 4. Earthshaker does have his Blink Dagger up now. Echo Slime, however, cooling down at the moment. And how far away is Roshan? We're still waiting about another 2 minutes for the next Rosh. So it looks like both teams are going to be absolutely fine. KP, that was a weird looking TP, and Puck, not really in too much trouble, has been able to crest the high ground again. And Earthshaker ready to wall this base off as well. But FT looks like they want to maybe get a little bit of harassment damage down. But in the end, the side better of it. There is another relocate up and ready to go. There aren't Phantasms, but right outside their base. Still not a bad spot for Ob to try and take a fight. KP's second Mystic Staff picked up for him right now, so probably going to be seeing a second Shiva's as well. The non-stop slow and the attack speed reduction are going to be a big help. And I mean, well, it doesn't stack, but keeping the debuff up is going to be a help. Because if they can kite around the CK, if they can kite around the Lone Druid, then that's going to be great. And disregard the comment about the minus attack speed. That's the passive. So my bad there, guys. Not sure why I'm forgetting what Shiva's does. So the active is damage and slow, and the passive is minus attack speed. So, and I'm not forgetting anything else that he could build right now. It's just going to be a Shiva's. Not sure what's with my head today. So we've only got buyback on the Puck. Cux has it up as well. I'm just going to switch it over to net worth. There's not really anything else that's too instructive to show. Quick glance at hero level is a slight advantage to Fairy Tail, but hero level doesn't really paint a very accurate picture of the game state right now. So let's just leave it at net worth and call it a day. And yeah, I'm casting that Cyber Gamer tournament, Wedgie. So yeah, I'm well aware of it. And to everybody else in chat, I encourage you to check it out. It's next weekend. Should be good fun. I'm doing all the casting. I'll be on the Cyber Gamer stream. I won't be on my stream, but I'll be tweeting and Facebooking and all that. All the details as we get closer to the event. And Ob, they smoke up. They walk straight past the sentry. They walk straight past an observer ward. Nothing should really come of this one. And Fairy Tail continue to push out this gold lead, now up to 15k. Famofu has that Mjolnir finished up. What have we got up for Cynical? He's actually managed to, well, have they managed to reclaim the gem? No, both teams are currently in possession of a gem. So these wards should not last all too long, though. Nakamon actually just backed out right before he walked up onto this high ground. So I guess a little bit unfortunate for him there. And Fairy Tail now pushing in. Roshan is up, so if Ob take a successful team fight at their base, they do actually have something to claim. As far as buyback status is concerned, only 2 heroes with it up right now. Both of them are on the Dire. This could be a treacherous situation for Fairy Tail. And oh, Mjolnir picked up as well. Chuck it on Cux. He's going to be right in the middle of these fights. And I guess the pickup makes even more sense in the context there. Not only is Maelstrom a very damage efficient item, but the active from the Mjolnir is definitely not bad to have against this very heavy right click lineup. KP just waiting up on the high ground. They don't actually have that much pressure on the lanes right now, so Mofu and KP going to be making their way down towards bot, keep this pressured in. Unfortunately, given that they are on the Radiant, they can't really apply enough pressure to ensure Roshan for themselves. And Ob are very slowly working their way out. KP's going to TP up towards top. It's just the lane control game at the moment to really determine who's going to have enough time to go into the pit. Again, sort of the problem for FT is that KP can't really threaten Arax all that well by himself. Needs someone with some right click to back him up. And that's really where Fomofu is going to come in. Eventually, at some point in this game, we're going to see Boots of Travel up on Quap, and that should definitely help out the cause. So, yeah, still just a bit of a stall. Both teams, well, Fairy Tail don't want to give away Roshan. I don't know if they can necessarily take it all that quickly. And Ob are just waiting till they can get themselves in the pit, not wanting to risk losing any tier 3s, losing any ground. So both teams, I think both teams are very aware of the stakes right now. This is a best of one. This is do or die. You win or you go home. And well, KP, not a whole lot of items left to pick up for him. At some point in the game, you might see a Soul Ring swapped out for maybe something like a Bloodstone. We could see an Ethereal Blade and a Dagon, or something along those lines. But getting pretty close to maxed out right now. Meanwhile, Ob, I mean, the Bear's still got a whole bunch of slots left to fill. He's working his way towards what appears to be an MKB now. And Viper still has a couple of fairly big pickups left coming along for him. We could see a Heaven's Halberd for a little bit of extra survivability. Could see some lifesteal. Could see any sort of orb from him. The world is still really his oyster. Fairy Tail, they're going to head into the Roshan pit. The minus armor from the Goo helping out quite a bit here, but Ob ready to come and defend, and Kux gets bashed. He probably won't get entangled. The bear is just a little bit too far away from its master to be able to take a swipe at him there. But that could have been dicey. We actually had Earthshaker looping around, ready to come in from the side with the Blink Dagger, and that really would have relied on Ob being able to charge in on the right flank. Had they been pressured back up onto their own high ground, that could have been an awkward spot for Earthshaker to be in. So Fairy Tail continue to just casually farm around the Roshan pit. Bot lane is, well, top lane, sorry, is pushing in right now, and Nakumon, he's leading the charge. The team just a little bit further behind. Viper didn't actually get hit by the smoke, so this is very, very suspicious, but they find Fomofu, who's going to pop the BKB and just blink himself out. TP straight back to base, but I don't know if the TP all the way back to base was required. A bit of a panic reflex there, and now he's going to have to walk himself straight out to the Roshan pit. KP has been able to get the Lone Druid to TP up towards top. Ob still leaving some heroes around here, but Fairy Tail, they're trying to take this Roshan without having to fight for it. And it's working out so far. Rosh down at about half HP. The Bear is going to continue to apply pressure on top. He doesn't have any way to quickly get into this fight. And I feel like the better choice might have been to take the CK Wisp back to defend, because Rosh is going to drop Aegis, going to be picked up by Fomofu. Here comes the fight. The Viper in a little bit of trouble, gets shackled up onto the high ground. Echo Slime comes through the Fissure as the chain locked down Fomofu and VDK, and a little bit of trouble. There's a Tunk Wave over the top. Wisp still alive, waiting up the top of the steps. Viper trying to put out as much damage as he can, but KP manages to pop his Ghost Scepter, still alive. Kux now right-clicking, 3 dead, double kill for Fomofu. They catch out Nakumon. He is shackled, he is silenced, and he is gone. What a team fight for FT. And again, but Lone Druid just nowhere near that fight. After they saw Roshan go down, felt like they had to go in, but a decision that they really got punished for there. And I guess the thing is, well, what I was just trying to say is that maybe you send CK and Wisp back instead of sending back the Lone Druid to defend these pushes, because you could have relocated in, you could have had the Bear ready to try and take the fight, and taking a fight 4v5 at this stage of the game, especially when one of your primary heroes isn't there, is just not a recipe for anything good. So Puck's going to buy back into the game. They're going for this defense. They've got the majority of their ultimates off cooldown, but Echo Slam's still off by about 30 seconds. KP going back just to replenish. VDK just tanking up as best he can, has a bit of a casual vitality booster picked up for the moment, and Fomofu is going hard with this attack speed. Another Hyperstone picked up, probably working towards his AC, probably working towards an AC, help top out the damage of his team and make these tower sieges just that little bit easier. And FT, KP spamming layers and layers of March. Ob just not feeling confident to get into this fight, and Kux as the front liner. Very difficult to deal with. Is he going to get entangled? He's standing his ground. There's the entangle, the wall off from the Earthshaker. FT, can they get into this fight? VDK still there, but Tomofu gets dragged back in. Does have the Aegis. He's going to be back in just a second. And Kux still alive and kicking. The bear is going to drop, and now onto the racks. Do Ob have anything left up their sleeve? It doesn't seem like it. Earthshaker off to the side. He's still got 5 seconds on that next Echo Slam, but FT... they're saying, Ob, you gotta do something, you gotta stop us, or we're gonna take everything. Kux get entangled one more time. Viper with the attempted Reality Rift, but actually gets chain stunned up. Can they bring him down? Gonna pop the BKB, but no Phantasm, no turnaround. Vandal, we've got a stun up, an entangle up on him. Varn still being chased down by Kux. Sonic Wave, he's very, very tanky, but the minus armor, there's another Hex, and a bit of a Venn diagram going on with the Shiva's guards. Buyback from the bear, but this is desperation from Ob. They need to get these kills. They need to get Fairy Tail out of the base. No, they don't get the stun up on Fumofu. Nice Shackle's going to latch on Viper. 2-man stun through. Jilling is going to go down. No more overcharge for survivability. And Earthshaker jumps in, but the Echo Slam all for naught. KP still on full health. Viper doing the best that he can, but the Ghost Scepters, the kiting, it's too much. Triple kill for Fumofu. That's another tier 3 down, and this is going to be on to the racks, and I think this is going to be on to the game, and that's going to lead FT on to the semifinals, where they're going to face up against TNC. It's not GG just yet, but it does kind of look like it. And KP coming in with that chain hex just to try and set up a couple more kills. Varn sitting in his ranged form in the base, no bear. I think feeling pretty sad at the moment. And trying to toggle the ult, dodges the rockets, nicely played, but the March. And Kux here to tank forever is going to let Fairy Tail just walk straight into the fountain and do whatever they want. Yeah, so Kux is very, very tank. 26 armor, whole bunch of regen. I don't think anyone was actually hitting him, so the Heart of Tarrasque. God, why is my pronunciation so bad? Regen was still up. Varn is hiding in the trees at the moment, but Fumofu finds him, and Fumofu has an AC. So his right click is pretty lethal right now. A little bit of fountain camping. God, what is up with my English today? I think I've gone dyslexic. And Kux continues to tank the fountain. That's going to be game, and Fairy Tail will advance. So, next game is in 20 minutes, as Ixara says. This is the AMD Dota 2 Premier League. This is the regional qualifier final to determine who is going to be advancing to the grand final. And Cynical ends the game with 3 gems. Nothing but style there. So, I've been Baseskip. This was a game between Fairy Tail and Ob. If you guys want to leave any feedback for me as far as my casting is concerned, I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a message in chat, send me a message on Steam if you have me added, or send me an email at baseskipdota@gmail.com. It's all good. But yeah, that's it. We've got a best of 3 between Fairy Tail and TNC coming up in 20 minutes, and I hope to see you guys for that one if you can resist the allure of AC and Merlini co-casting for Cupad versus Navi. So hope to see you then.